Hi everybody, Grandad here. What am I up to today? Well, today I'm doing a little electronic build, and I've sent for a little kit off the internet, and it's come from China. It took over a month to get here, but what it is, it's a little kit to make a voltage regulator. Now, it came in this little packet with all the bits and no instructions, which is typical. Now, it's got a very tiny circuit board, and I've looked on the internet and I found a chap who's actually built this kit, and it's an LM317 digital adjustable power supply build kit. So I've looked through that a couple of times. Now, this chap obviously knew what he was doing, but even he had trouble, just identifying exactly which wire went where and what went where. So I'm a little bit blind as regards, because I don't know anything about these things. I'm very much learning about them. But hopefully I can figure it out by working on process of elimination and following what he did in the hope of discovering where everything goes. Now, I've lost my little, look if I put them in here. Where's my little snippers? I seem to have lost my little snippers for a moment. You'll have to bear with me. No, they're on the table over here, along with a screwdriver. As usual, I'm not prepared. But anyway, I've got my soldering iron on. And of course, I've not got the solder. Oh dear, I thought I was well in hand with this. Now, this chap took about 45 minutes to actually do this kit. And with me not being very used to it, it might take me longer. So if it does take a long time and you get fed up of waiting, you can always skip forward, because I can't speed up things and go forward. But you can do that on your camera. And if you think I'm taking too long, you can skip forward to the next little bit. And hopefully, if you think you've missed something, you can go back to it and fiddle around and hopefully sort out this little kit. Now, on the board, there's several little bits on there, and it's got all the various bits and pieces. Now, down this one side, there's a whole list of things which are listed as 4007s. Now, they're little black things, or they look blank, and they've got a white band at the one end. And on the board here, it shows the one going one way and the one going the other way, one going the other way and one going the other way. Now, I think this is what he called a bridge rectifier. Now, I'm not sure whether that's right or not, because as I say, I'm not an expert. And that means you can use AC or DC current. Now, I don't know how that works, but anyway, that's what he said. So like him, I'm going to start with those, because they look as if there's very little chance of me getting that wrong. So I'm just going to bend these little legs over in the same way that he did, and pop them through these holes with a little end on there, the little end of it, towards the end where it shows the where it shows it on the board. Now bend the little legs out so that they stick out. Now pick up another one. Now these are all the same. Now I don't know whether they are actually handed or polarized or whatever they call it, but they might be necessary to put them in one way and then the other way. So I'll follow what I think is the instructions as best I can, because it came with nothing, no schematic, not even a Chinese writing about it, which is a bit annoying. Not that I can read any Chinese or anything, but would have been nice if it came with a schematic that I could perhaps look at something and sort out another little bit of information. Right, so that's 3. I'll bend another one down now. And that'll be 4 of these funny little things. Now he said that the board needed cleaning, or especially this thing he called a pot, which I feel some sort of regulator thing, because that's another bit you get, another little regulator. And he said it was dirty. Now he didn't tell me what he cleaned it, what to clean it with. Now the only thing I'd got to clean it, which I thought might work, was a bit of acetone. I mean, they may have used alcohol or something like that, but I haven't got any alcohol, so I've used a little bit of acetone, which may or not have been a good idea. I don't know, but I've washed the board over a little bit, or wiped it a little bit, and done that. Now then, now that's 4 things in there. Now I'm going to get my little helping hands coming in here now. Now, some of these people who do these builds, they do it over above, and that's how this chap did it. But I find that way that my camera goes a bit funny and isn't always helpful in getting it in the right direction. So I'll do it sort of facing you just on this thing, because I'm sure you've seen these things before, and therefore it's not necessary to see all the soldering. Now, my soldering iron's a bit dirty, as usual. Got plenty of smoke. Clean it off best I can, and I'll try and do a little bit of soldering. Now I'm a bit shaky, but I'll try and see how we get on with soldering these little diddlers in there. That's 2. Well, those are going on quite successfully, which is good. And I've noticed on this back side of this board that there's round holes, little pads, and there's square ones. Now, I don't know whether that matches up with this little mark that's on here, but that's quite useful. I mean, those things haven't gone exactly flat for me. I might just try those down a little bit more. See if I can push those down a little bit more. A little bit tighter. That's a little bit better. As I say, I'm no expert at this, and I'm only learning. Now, people might say, well, if you're only learning, you didn't ought to be putting videos up trying to tell people how to do it. But I think people who are learning and run into trouble, it's useful to be a learner and run into trouble, because then you can sort of, somebody else who's learning might run into the same problem and you can perhaps help them out. I don't know. Now, there's a couple of funny little brown things here. Bring those in. I've had these before, and these are marked 104. Now, I think I saw on this board where 104 was mentioned. There's 104, 104. There's 2 104s. Now now these don't, I don't think these are handed. So we'll pump one through there and bend its legs out. And I'll put the other 104 over here where it's got 104. I was a little bit troubled there because it's got positive and negative there on a little sign. But I don't think it refers to this these little things. I don't know. I don't quite know what they are. They might be resistors or capacitors. I'm never sure what these things are. So if I get it wrong, you'll just have to forgive me. But I'll try soldering those in now. Now I don't know whether washing this off with a bit of acetone has actually helped. I hope it has. Now I know you're supposed to put this stuff on one side and then on the other side. I've got a little bit much there. Let me get one of my tissues again and clean this end. A lot of smoke and bits and pieces. Just to clean that end. I haven't got a very good thing for cleaning. So all I've got really is a bit of tissue, which smokes like mad. But it does remove some of the solder if you don't want it. Just remove a little bit more. I think I've put rather a lot on there. Right. That's another 2 components in. Got the little legs off that. Now I hope this thing works because I want to do some electroplating and some making of different chemicals where you need a low current to produce the iron oxides and things. So I hope this is going to work. Now this thing only costs £3. It's come from China and it only costs £3, which I was quite amazed at really. It's very cheap. So if it doesn't work, it's not the end of the world. But I'm hoping it's going to. Now the next thing I'm going to put in, there's 2 little what I think are diodes. I think they're diodes they call them. They look very similar to the things I got on my crystal set. Now let me just see if I can see where these, they're both the same. And they've got a little funny end on them. Now I think, from what I could see about this other chap was doing, those funny little diodes go there. Now they've got a black line at the end, so that may indicate to me, and as I say, I could be wrong, you never know, but they could indicate to me where those actually fit. And these things in China are very cheap, and I know that, but really they ought to give you a little bit of instruction with them. It's there's no real way of complaining about these things, but I think they would be very kind if they would put a little bit more sort of instruction as to what you've got to do on these things. In my little helping hands. Right, we'll try again. And some of these pads are very close together. They don't give you much room to maneuver. Ouch! That wasn't a clever idea. I burnt myself. doesn't pay to put your soldering iron too close. Managed to burn my fingers there. It does nip you quite quickly. Now, I don't know whether this lighting in here is very good today, but I've got my other light on up here, and I don't know whether you can notice, but my face has got some red patches and spots on my forehead. I don't know whether you can see that, but as you know, I'm going through a little bit of chemotherapy at the moment, and therefore I'm not 100% fit, if you like, and I've developed a sort of a rash on my face, which is a little bit worrying. I don't think it's anything too serious. Let me just look at those. No, I think those have turned out all right. So if I look a bit strange, it's because of that. I mean, I may not look strange, I don't know. There's a lot of sun coming through the back here, so I seem to be... I don't know whether I can just close off these curtains a little bit. There we go. Well, that's improved things at all, and not, I don't know. But anyway, I don't know. Now then, now we've got a little LED here. This other little gadget. Now when you come to LEDs, I believe that the long leg is the positive. So I'm just looking on here, and I can see where the LED goes. Now, just have a little look here with a magnifying glass. Now, it says LED, but it doesn't tell you positive and negative. Now, that's a little bit annoying. Now then. Now, the trouble with this is if it's round the wrong way, it's not going to work. Now then, how's that going to be going in there? It hasn't got positive and negative on it. So that's a little bit tricky. I've got a 50-50 chance of getting it right. So which way does it go? There's a little sign there that says LED. And it's got the point at the bottom. But it doesn't tell you. Doesn't tell you which way round this goes. So that could be a little bit tricky. I'm going to take a chance on it. And I'm going to put it through with the LED pointing up that way. Now that's quite high up. Now I'm putting that through, and I'm taking a big chance here now, because I'm not sure which way that goes. So if my LED doesn't actually light up, I'm hoping I'm not going to ruin it. But I may have to take this off and change it round. I'm taking a big risk here. I don't like the look of that one. Let's just wipe my Want my little stick again. Be careful I don't burn myself. This is really hot. Another little dibble on there. Let me just take a look at that one. Now the one looks all right. I'm going to risk it and cut it off, but I'm not too happy about that one. I think it has got it, but that's a bit of a risk. That LED could be wrong. Now the next thing I'm going to put on, I'd like to put these resistors on, but there's two values of these resistors. One's a 24 and one's a 10K. Now, I've looked at the numbers on these, and the one, when I look at the codes, the color codes, it added up to 24 and the other one just went to 2. Now I was expecting it to go to 10, but obviously it didn't. So again, I'm taking a bit of a risk. I'm hoping this one that says 24 means 24, and that's the right way round it goes. Now, I don't really like these things that don't tell you exactly what the values are of these things. I'm not very good with identifying resistors. But I'm taking a bit of a chance on it. This one's only got like 2 something. But the colours, I mean, it said you can do the colours, and it says you can get a calculator off the internet. Well, I tried to do that and it didn't do anything. Oh, wait a minute. Hang on, I've got this round the wrong way already. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I put that round the wrong way already. That's the one that had 24 on it. It was the bottom one. Oh dear. Almost made a mistake there, even with my own calculations. Almost went wrong there, I think. As I say, I'm taking a bit of a chance here. Taking a bit of a chance. Right. We're smoking clean. Right, here we go. Right, I think that's all right. They're a bit of a clean. That soldering iron is very hot. I don't know whether I got it turned up too high, but I did try it a bit lower one time, but cut my wires off. And again, I'm taking a risk. And sometimes you have to take a bit of a risk in life. A little check on those. Right. I think I've got that. How long have I been going? 25 minutes. Well, I'm shooting along now quite good. Now the next things I'll put on are these, I think they call these capacitors, I'm not sure, or something like that. Now there's 3 of these, but they're all different sizes. Now I know that these are handed, and I think the long one again is the positive, but it's got this brown band on the side, little brown band, grey colour, and on the where it mounts, there's got a shaded area. So I rather fancy that shows you which way to put that in. So you put the negative part, which is the banded bit, on that side, and the other one the other side. So I'm going to put those through in the hope that I'm doing it right. And then the other one's there. There's 3 of those. Put those through. Hook them into my helping hands. Put those up there out of the way. Right. Get my solder again. I'll do this big one first. Very close together. Right. Well, those went fairly swimmingly. I'll chop those wires off. I've got a little rubbish basket here, so when I'm cutting these off, they're dropping hopefully into the basket. And get rid of all these as well. I don't think I need any of them. Put them in the basket. Now then, what I've got left now is the pot, I think they call it, the 2 terminals, and this heat sink with what do they call this? I'll try and bolt it on. I think I can see which screw does the bolting. Now, he was a bit concerned about this, that it didn't have any sort of compound on it for isolating it. But he put it on without anything on it. And he said he put some stuff on it later, but whether he actually did or not, I don't know. But the actual heatsink looks as if it's pretty isolated from everything. It doesn't seem to connect to anything. So unless I splash any problems getting my that ink's in. Doesn't seem to want to go down for some reason. I've got some pliers somewhere. Where's my little pliers? Heatsink doesn't seem to want to go flat. It's a bit strange. Yeah, that's a bit weird. Let's tweak those over a little bit. There we go. That's a little bit tight. Now, I know heat sinks can be a little bit problematic because you have to put a lot of heat in there. But of course, as I say, my little soldering iron there has got a lot of heat. So we'll clean it off and see if we can put this heat sink down. That seems pretty good. Now this transistor, that's what it's called. I knew I'd remember what it was eventually. This little transistor's got 3 little legs on it. They're very close together. I'll just check those with my magnifying glass. See how we've got on without. Oh, those have blodged down quite nicely. So that's good. Now, chop the legs off those. My helping hands has come apart. Put that up in there. Right. Now this thing you refer to as a pot. And there's 6 locations. I don't understand why this camera is so dark today. Very strange. So I'll pop that through. I'll just put this other light on. Because it wants more light from the top, I don't know. That's not, I don't think that's helped at all. Never mind. I don't know what's happened there, but my camera seems to be a bit dark. I don't know why. Now put this little pot thing on. And as you might expect, the holes for this aren't terribly clever. Now these are a bit strange, and whether these aren't exactly behaving themselves. Obviously goes that way because you have the knob sticking outwards. And these are very tricky. A bit tiresome. Blimey. Those have proved to be really awkward. Right, put those down. Now these may just hold by laying it down now, I don't know. We'll try it. 6 little pots, little connections on this one. Ouch. Now whether my cleaning with my was good, my acetone was good, but those seem to have gone on really well. So obviously, perhaps cleaning with acetone is quite a good idea, I don't know. It certainly doesn't seem to have done it any harm. So that's those three, or six. 3 little patches of 3. Let's take the other little bits off in case they get in the way. I just have a little look at those. Oh, those have gone really well. That's not too bad. I'm very pleased that I've managed to solder reasonably well. As I say, I'm no expert, and I just have to try these things. Now there's 2 little terminal blocks, and obviously it doesn't matter which one goes in where as long as you put one way and one the other way. So I'll put those in now, and I can get them to stay in place. That's one. And the other one, they always got to go with the terminals facing outwards. And one's for the input, and one's for the output. Give those a little tweak. Now again, these may stay in place. Might not need the helping hands to hold it. Get rid of that cloth, I got plenty. And clean again. I think it's a good idea to clean things as much as you can. I've noticed with a lot of things you have to clean everything. Right. Here I go again. That seems to be pretty good. Right, that's that. Now, we're left with this funny little gizmo, which is the oh, that's strange because that goes right through the hole. That's a bit weird. That goes right through the hole. I don't like that. That goes right through the hole there. Now I think what I'm going to have to do is put a washer on that. Fortunately I've got some washers, because that, for some reason, which is very strange, those go right through the hole. That doesn't go through the hole. So what I'm going to have to do is somehow, I think these little legs that they've given me here, either they make the holes too big, or they've there's something wrong there. I don't know what's gone wrong there. This doesn't look right. So what I'm going to have to do, I have to try anyway, put some washers on there. Oh God, these washers. And these washers are all different sizes. And of course the ones I want I can't pick up. I'm going to cheek out those washers. I can pick out the ones I want. I'll pop them back in the box after. Now that's strange, because what they've done, they've given me the wrong size thing here. Because the little pegs, the little legs, seem to fly right through. They're the right size screws, but they don't go through right. So I have to put washers on. Good job I got some washers. They've either made the holes in this little contraption too big, or they've sent me the little spaces too small. Now I've got, where's my other little gizmo one? There it is. That's got it. Now I'll just nip those up. Now, like the chap who I've got the internet wired up there, the chap who had this internet thing showed me how to do this, was a little bit perplexed, because this next little bit didn't really show properly where these wires go. Now, there's 3 wires, there's a yellow, a red and a black. Now, that's not very good. What's happening there? I don't like that much. Let me just don't like this terminal. Let me just melt that terminal back down. Let me just do that one as well. I like those terminals to be flat. That one's not very good. Not that again. Right. That's gone down flatter. That's better. Now then, this is where we take a bit of a risk. Now it says G for a G. Oh dear, what does it say? It says GND, which I'm going to assume means ground, SEN and UCC. So I'm not quite sure which way those go round. Now there's markings on these cables. The black one, there's no markings on that. Yeah. So the black one is definitely, the red one's positive, and the other one's got a U on it. So I'm going to put it in with that, in that way, and just hope that that's the way it's supposed to go. Now, I'm not 100% sure with this. Now, what I'm going to do is try and get a little bit of solder, on the end here, and just blob that. In the hope that it'll solder it. Let me just check that one with a little magnifying glass. Looks good. Now the red one I'm going to put in the middle. I hope that that's the right way round for that one. I've got no real conviction on this, whether it is right or wrong. So like the other chap, I'm taking a little bit of a risk. It's spread over a bit too far. Yeah, very close together. That's better. I'm going to take it, this yellow one goes in this top hole, like that. It's a little bit hot. Oh, shaky on this one. Oh no. Right, let's have a little look now. It's a little bit blobby, but blobby. I'm hoping they're all right. Of course, my helping hands have come apart again. Now we're on 48 minutes, so I'm sorry if this video's gone on a long time, but I think I've done it. Now the next thing to do is to do a bit of testing. Now I can bolt that down, but I won't bolt it down just yet, because I'm not sure whether I'm going to mount this differently, like he said he was going to, or whether I shall do it a different way. Now I've got my motor monitor here. Now I don't quite know what voltage to put through this. Now I've got to see what voltage I've got on my doodads. Now I've got this other funny little gadget here, which I don't know what it is. It's a KK moon signal generator, module board, precision. And if anyone knows what that is, I'll just show you that again. I put it on another video, but if you know what that is, if you're an expert and you know what that is, something to do with oscilloscopes, I think. I bought this and it didn't really work for me. So it wasn't really much good. Now this is stupid because it's got a... I'll just unplug my soldering iron because I think I've finished soldering for the moment. I'll get my other screwdriver and I'll disconnect this input on this little module thing. Put that back in its bag till I find out what it is. But if you recognise it, you know what it's all about, let me know. It's quite a nifty little gadget, but I just don't know what it does. Anyway, now then, this is 12 volts, and I'll just connect this up. Now, I'm sure he said it didn't matter which way these went round, but what I'll do, now the one, let's have a little look here. It's got positive and negative. That one says out, so this must be in. Now there's no markings on that, so it appears that it doesn't matter which way that goes in. I hope not anyway. Otherwise there'll be another big bang and I'll have wasted my money again. So I put that in there and hope that it doesn't actually matter. There's a bit of a small screwdriver. Let's get a bit bigger one. Might be too big. Anyway, let's try it. This is only a pound shop screwdriver. It's quite a good little screwdriver, but I've seen other people use them, so maybe they're alright. I'll pop that in there. Goes out there like that. Pity that I can't sort of break off and come back to it, otherwise I would have wired this up a little bit quicker for you. Let's chop that end off so it's a little bit sharper. Poke that into its hole. Now, as I say, it doesn't say that this is handed or anyway, and apparently you can have AC or DC, because it's got this bridge rectifier, I think they call it, that means you can use either way. I don't know how true that is, but that's what the man said. Now, what I'm going to do is plug in my 12 volt supply. And hope that nothing seems to be happening at the moment. Now nothing has occurred. That's a bit of a nuisance. Now my LED hasn't come on. But my just see if any current's coming out of there. But that's a current. And my heat sink's getting hot. Put that up there like that. Now that is moving to different voltages. Now then, that's a bit annoying. Let me just unplug that a minute. Now that heatsink has got quite warm. Now, as I said, I was a bit tricky about which way this LED went round. Now, I know that if you put the LEDs in the wrong way round, they don't work. So in the interest of trying to find out whether that's what the problem is, I'll unsolder that LED if I can and change it round. It's a little bit tricky. I wonder if I ought to use my sucker. It could be something as simple as the fact I've got that LED around the wrong way. Now, if I get my little sucking mechanism here and see if I can unsolder this LED. Oh no, no wonder that's not working. I got it unplugged. I lost all my heat. Right. I'm going to have to wait a minute while that warms up. In the meantime, I'll check. There's two there. Just check which one it is. It is that one. What's the matter with this thing? It keeps jumping out of its hole. It could be something as simple as having that LED the wrong way around, because I didn't know which way it went. It didn't say positive and negative. So I was a little bit dubious as to which way around it went. I didn't understand the markings. So I hope it's just something as simple as that that's stopping it from working. See if that's popped the solder off it. Now that LED is going to be really tricky to get out of there, because it's buried in the bottom there. This is always a problem. If things don't work, you're really in trouble. So this video is going on for quite some time, which I'm sorry about that. I was hoping that we'd get there now. Now get all to that. Oh dear. These wires are going to prove to be a bit of a nuisance now. That really is tiresome. It's really hot. Now this is proving to be a little bit problematic. So I think what I'm going to have to do is break off this video and because it's going on, it's been over an hour now and you obviously don't want to wait for this. Now I'm going to have to mark somehow this LED so I know which way round I put it in incorrectly, or maybe I did. And that's going to take a little bit of time. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to break off this video now and I'll come back to you maybe with just another small little video telling you the results of this build, because at the moment it doesn't seem to be working, and it could be there's something to do with this LED. That's the only thing I can think of that I may have put in wrong. I don't know, but that's what I think. So I'll break off now, and for the moment I'll say bye-bye now. Thanks for tuning in. Like and subscribe if you like it. Sorry it hasn't worked yet, but look at another video. I may have fixed it. Bye now.